Today is August 14, 2026. It is 4:17 a.m. This is video number 3. So let's go on X and continue. So in this video, we're going to focus mostly a bit of politics and nothing about the royal family. If there is, I probably misarrange it. Alright, I already tackled the tweets that have to deal with the royal family. So this is the first tweet for this video. Breaking: the Football Association of Ireland has withdrawn support for the re-election of Gianni Infantino. Sky's Robert Harris says it is a further erosion of support for the current FIFA president. Alright, 3 minutes and 37 seconds. I don't think I'm gonna go in the comments, okay? So there's the comment. This is an ad. You could pause and read, okay? I'll go to the next tweet right after. 3 minutes and 37 seconds. Screenshot.
Breaking news to bring you now. The Football Association of Ireland has confirmed it has withdrawn its support for Gianni Infantino to be re-elected as FIFA president. Infantino under pressure following a controversial and now shelved plan to sell shares in the World Cup. Let's bring in our sports correspondent Rob Harris. Rob, what more can you tell us?
Well, this is a further erosion of support for Gianni Infantino 2.5 weeks into this crisis engulfing FIFA over the secretly negotiated plans to sell off shares in the World Cup. We've seen the Federation in Wales and indeed England and some others across Europe withdraw those letters of support for Gianni Infantino's re-election next year. And as various FA boards are meeting across Europe, now we have the decision from Dublin with the decision to withdraw support for Infantino's re-election. They're saying it's because recent events have raised significant concerns regarding governance, transparency and the lack of meaningful consultation. That relates to how this scheme was landed on football associations around the world, only following leaks and given a very rapid deadline to approve it with a very strong financial incentive of over $80 million over 12 years. And it's caused outrage. This week, 3 of the confederations, Europe, Asia and North America, effectively calling for Infantino to go. Yesterday, I was speaking exclusively to the Confederation of African Football President, Patrice Motsepe. He's also a FIFA Vice President. He was urging caution, saying the decision on Infantino's future should be taken at the election due next March. We're still waiting for a candidate to emerge from the alliance against Infantino. I've also been speaking to one of those who's led the charge against Gianni Infantino for some time now, the president of the Norwegian Football Federation, Lise Klaveness, about what's gone wrong and what she wants to see happen.
The Norwegian Football Federation, we have said and assessed that we have asked them to resign immediately, and the reason for doing that is that, of course, for some years we have been very worried about this reversing of reforms and also the lack of our arm's-length distance to state leaders and the risk that puts football in. We cannot have the same history 10 years from now again. So we have to work really, really hard to really improve the checks and balances and the governance structures going ahead. It's not about not giving money to federations. FIFA has money. The federations should still get the money that was promised, but we should still have a functioning organization.
And that's a reference to the fact that Infantino is claiming that all this money needed to be raised from private investors to send to federations around the world. The belief is the money is there. So we have had some crunch talks being held around the UEFA Super Cup here in recent days, trying to determine the way forward, as Infantino does hold on to power with that alliance growing against him, and paralysis really in world football as it's gripped by this civil war with Infantino digging in and the opponents stepping up their pressure, with now more football associations withdrawing support for him, but with no obvious candidate to emerge. And also big questions about how FIFA should look in future. as it's seen by the critics, to prevent one man becoming so powerful and, in the words of the three confederations from Europe, Asia and North America this week, breaching the trust through deception over these secret negotiated schemes. These talks are going on throughout football about trying to determine a path forward out of this crisis.
All right, so these people, while regular people are setting things, creating things for people to get together, those let me pause this, those mafia type of people are just watching, waiting to see how they could get their hand over on it. Okay, once they get their bodies in place of position of power to turn a blind eye, they going in to grab in. And it's like this carrying so many people. There's so many things that I see that's going on. One of them I posted on my community board about Haiti paying, what is it, the US 300 something $1,000 for whatever. I'm like, where did the country get the money for to pay? I don't even understand the process of it. At one point I will cover it. Okay, so this is the next tweet. There is a process. African football leader won't commit over Infantino's future. Mr. Infantino has been under increasing pressure since news was leaked that he intended to sell off part of the World Cup. I'm telling you, a lot of these things that's happening right now, it's what's going on in the US. Okay, the dummy we have in the US. So many of these people are quickly trying to dismantle any system that there is so they could put their hand over it. All right. Many of you might say, why the US? It's who's there right now using the well, I don't even think the manpower is there anymore because he dismantled it. Using the like the superpower former, let me put former superpower of the United States to scare people. What he did to Venezuela to scare the people off, it's things like that that is being played. All right, let's listen to this. Almost 3 minutes.
It's what's in the interest of global football.
I've tracked down Patrice Motsepe, a FIFA vice president who's the leader of the African Football Confederation, and he could hold the key to the future power in world football as the crisis escalates around Gianni Infantino. 3 of the 6 confederations are firmly against Infantino over the botched attempts to sell shares in the World Cup. Europe, Asia and North America. But Africa has been seen to be aligned behind Infantino, and they have 54 votes in the presidential election. Patrice Motsepe has been telling me that Infantino should not be forced out now, but it should be for the election next year to determine whether or not it needs a change in president. This is not a ringing endorsement of Infantino's presidency.
You know,
If anybody has got any problem against anybody, whether it's Gianni, whether it's anybody else, follow the process, follow the FIFA process, and if you want to take him out, go for elections. It's simple as that. Let the 211 member associations decide. And the vote will express whether they've got confidence in him or not. I'm very clear that all of these accusations, from an African perspective, and not just African. Did you see the statement from CONMEBOL? You see the statements. Listen to what the member associations say. He has focused on contributing to the development and growth of football, and that's where his support comes from. People have seen what he's done over the years. Are there accusations and challenges? Of course.
Following
He's
Balogun, red card, Omar Artan being not allowed in the United States.
Listen, I'm here. I've heard so many stories, about various issues, and be careful to pass judgment on anything. Everybody has a right to be heard, and let's have a hearing and a proper forum, a proceeding, a court, whatever it is, or a tribunal, and let's respect.
Everything he's saying I agree with, but the way this group of politics that's happening right now, they rule based on fear. You see what happened to Haiti, for instance. I looked into it in one of my videos where there were, I think, 9 board members. All 9 of these board members gave up their position to elect one person to make a decision for the entire country. And you see some of the decision that this guy is making. In my humble opinion, I think there was some sort of a fear, a threat that was put on those 9 board members to give up their position and put, cast their vote for that particular prime minister Haiti has now. So the same thing can be applied to FIFA's people who, what he said, like couple hundreds that can be voted to elect whoever can be the next, to replace Infantino. All right, the same kind of fear can be implemented in those people to make sure to vote, to cast their vote for whoever those people who's putting the fear on to cast their vote on. That's the kind of thing that is happening, I see globally. It's the same group of people that's behind the nonsense that you see is going on with FIFA, Haiti, Venezuela, and whatnot. So this is their last chance to go for everything. Everything that they've been looking at, where money is in, where they could control people, make people do certain things, or else you won't be able to play football for this team or whatnot. Okay, they're going for everything. Every single thing around the globe. They want control of it. Okay, like some people have been saying, one world order. And it's up to people like me, other people who's casting their vote to put certain people to represent you. And then once those people you elected to represent you, they get in that position, it matters. Or they gonna neglect your voice. And then when it's time for them to vote for certain things to make lives better for everybody else or whatever, are they gonna vote for your best interest? This thing is happening globally in everything. All right, let's continue.
Everybody is entitled to fair judgment, to fair treatment. Everybody should be heard out here, out of the part of that. Let everybody be heard.
But it's about good governance, and that's not been happening yet.
Not negotiable. Yeah. Good governance is not negotiable. And what has been happening or has not been happening, put it to the test. Have a hearing. Let it be assessed.
Should there be a whole hearing into what Gianni Infantino's done, an inquiry?
There's a FIFA process. I mean, if you have any accusation on anything, or even allegations, there's go and submit whatever your accusations may be, and it will be, there's a process.
And as I'm listening to him here, and I'm thinking, the players could, have a choice to not participate. But when I think about it, I don't know if I'm right. Let me pause and go search for what I'm thinking before I start talking. I'm glad what I was thinking, I'm partially correct, okay? So this is what I asked Google. Are football players around the world are educated? Most professional football players around the world have basic or high school education, but very few hold university degrees. Players usually enter professional club academic as teenagers, aged 13 to 17, which can limit their time for traditional higher education. I wanted to cover this first because that's what I was thinking when I said some of the players don't have to participate. But the thing is that many of them don't have the education to fall back on something else. Many of them will go on those corrupt type of things that's happening without even them knowing, because they only know football, soccer. Okay? When I was thinking, well, the football players, the soccer players, the athletes don't have to participate. And I was like, in my mind, I was thinking, they're not really well educated. Then I was like, before I start saying things, let me go search it up. So I was partially right. Okay? But in the United States, many of those players, professional players, they have to attend college. Okay? At least have a basic understanding of college life or whatever. Some of them usually go back and graduate. But to be seen and whatnot, I don't know, get scholarship to go to college and whatever. But around the world, let's say in Africa, not all of them, okay, have the education to make a choice and say, oh, FIFA is going in the wrong direction. I don't want to be part of it. Let me rely on my other things. Some of them don't have that option. All right, so let's leave that alone. That was a thought I was thinking. I had to do that small, quick research. All right, next tweet to at least back me up. I don't put everybody on the same boat, because when it comes to education, you don't want to say people are not educated. All right, next tweet. Breaking. I think I covered this in one of my videos already. Okay, breaking. UEFA, AFC, and CONCACAF have issued a joint statement on Gianni Infantino, saying the embattled FIFA president broke trust through deception with his proposal to sell off a stake in the World Cup, the 10th, like 4 days ago. Since I have it, I'll let you listen to it, but I think I covered already in one of my old videos.
Breaking news regarding the pressure building on Gianni Infantino, the boss of FIFA. Just in the last few minutes, we're getting statements out of a combination of UEFA, AFC and CONCACAF, representing different parts of the world, of course, saying that Gianni Infantino has placed himself above the collective with World Cup stake sale proposal. This is the proposal that Gianni Infantino put forward to sell off stakes in the World Cup to private investors, which prompted a huge backlash, and he then had to withdraw that plan. They go on to say, these groups of bodies, UEFA, AFC and CONCACAF, to say that FIFA did not acknowledge that the proposal itself was inherently wrong, and they are calling for a fully independent third-party review of the World Cup stake sale proposal. So these bodies, these football bodies from around the world, are calling for a review of that proposal, and also saying that he placed himself above the collective, Gianni Infantino, with that proposal at the time. Those lines still coming into us, so I'll keep an eye out in case we get more on that, but that's what has been said so far in the last few moments.
You know, this reminds me, a couple years ago, it could have been 2 or 3 years ago, I was talking about golf in the United States, how it was being sold off, you know, not sold off, but some of the players from PGA were being bought off from Live in the Middle East and all that. This is the same thing that's happening here. And I don't know why he wants to sell it off. Obviously, those hungry, power-hungry people outside, probably in the United States, business people see a stake where they could make some money off it. So, because football, soccer, okay, is very popular. This is one of the most, if I'm not mistaken, it's more popular than basketball, okay? So many of these people who have money see a stake where they could make money off of it, so they will go and try to buy part of it when the thing doesn't have any problem. Okay, let me pause for a second and ask. Okay, so I had to put international, because if I put only football, it will think of American football. Okay, is international football more popular than basketball? Okay, the answer is yes. International football, soccer, is significantly more popular than basketball on a global scale, boasting an estimate 3.5 to 4 billion fans worldwide, compared to basketball estimate 2 billion. It's still popular, but most people prefer soccer, okay? Football, okay? International football. So these business people see where, you know, they want a piece of the pie. They were left out because the system of...
Let me just bring you a little bit of breaking news.
The system, the structure of FIFA have been established in a way where many of these people can't get in. So now they're trying to break it off, find someone who's inside to break it off so they could get a piece of that pie. I don't even follow football. Okay? So let's go to the next tweet. I spent too much time on this. Next one. Okay, so we're done with FIFA. So I saw this and I thought I bring it up to you. It was kind of funny though, to a certain extent. I'll try not to put my opinion on it. Okay, breaking. Kim Kardashian's doctor confirms she has low brain activity. Video, let's see here, 1 minute and 2 seconds, and then I move on. Okay, I don't want to say stuff.
What are those holes?
Yeah, I don't like that. So what the holes mean is low activity. Compared to this one, the front part of your brain is less active than it should be. With your frontal lobes as they work now, it would be harder to manage stress. And that's not good for you, especially as you're studying and you're getting ready to take the boards.
That just can't be. It just can't. Not accepting.
For whatever reason, you're not getting, and it could be the chronic stress that you've been under trying to think about taking the boards in a couple of months and studying 10 hours a day, not to mention all the other things that go on in your life.
Yeah.
But we have to make it better.
I gotta get on a plan to really figure this out because I have some to do this summer.
All right, I was reading this.
What are
comment.
those
Let me
holes?
pause. Of all things, she asked about the holes. This comment says, I don't know, she's kind of just invisible, low brain activity. What's that look like? Oh, let me move on because I don't want to say what I'm thinking. I saw it, I thought I'd share it with you. Next tweet. I thought this is so cute. Alright, Keesha Sharp and husband BradFord Sharp have been married for 29 years. Oh my goodness, they look so cute. And it's like they're looking better as they get older. Look at her, she looks stunning. And that's what's good with both of them. They don't overshadow each other, or they just balance each other out. I just like that for them. May they continue remain together because there's nothing out there. People, those young people, they see your success, they go after your money. All right, let's move on. Next one. All right, let's pause this. Okay, Mamdani spotted casually biking in New York City. All right, so Brooklyn Bridge is right around the corner. Look at where I'm pointing the mouse. It's right around the corner here. And then City Hall is right across from this. I used to work literally down the street from there. All right, 26 seconds. There he is right there in white on the bicycle. All right, Brooklyn Bridge.
We love you! Love you, Mamdani! What a day! What a day!
Alright, so that's that. Let's move on. Next tweet, still talking about the mayor. I put this for a while. I forgot what they're all about. Okay, so let's
As mayor.
come on, Blue. Alright. You and me both, as well as the rest of America. Okay, she tagged the mayor with all those
New York, when you first got Mamdani as mayor, I was happy for you. That happiness turned into jealousy. That jealousy has now turned into rage. Because every time I open this app, this man is fixing something, building something, or just generally bringing joy to the people. So now, New Yorkers, when I see you in the street, I'm probably going to say some slick shit to you. But just know it's because I want what you have.
well, you have to pay attention who's running in your respective district or state or city or whatnot. See who's running. A lot of people back then, they think that the government is not gonna do anything for them, and you have those MAGA type Republicans used to say, don't go vote because the government is not gonna do anything for you. Meanwhile, they themselves, they go vote to put people in to do things for them. So I hope people pay attention. Their vote do count. All right, so that's that. Let's move on. Next tweet. I don't think this has anything to do with the mayor. All right, so let's see here. 2 minutes and 12 seconds. American Christians are starting to question everything they've been told. I'm seeing some stuff on YouTube where white Americans are saying, oh, they're not praying to that to a black God or something. Now that they are awakened, knowing that Jesus is black, all of a sudden they're against it. And I'm like, what were you praying to? Okay, who you were praying to? If you've been praying to whatever, if it been doing good to you, continue. All right, so let's listen to her. 2 minutes and 12 seconds.
My whole life, I've lived in a very conservative evangelical circles. And I was told when the Harry Potter books came out, Don't read those. They're wicked and they're evil. And so, being the good girl that I was, I didn't even question it. I stayed away from the books until my son was in the 2nd grade and he came home with the first Harry Potter book. And I told him, you can't read that. And he said, why not? And I said, I don't know. So I stayed up all night reading the first Harry Potter book so I could tell my son why he couldn't read them. And by the time I finished the last page and the sun rose, I woke my son up and said, go to school today and go check out the 2nd book. Because when I read it for myself, I learned what was really between those pages, and it was nothing to be scared of. I am doing the same thing with the Quran, not because I'm interested in converting to Islam, not because I'm interested in converting anyone else, but because my whole life I have been told what that book said, but I've never read it for myself. And I see so much hate and division between Christians and Muslims, and it's been like that, since Abraham had Isaac and Ishmael. But I think that if we are just listening to what those who benefit from us being divided are telling us, then we are missing out on the fact that I think there's a way that we can all live together in peace. Because what I've seen so far in my study of the Quran is it's nothing like what I was told it was. It doesn't mean that I'm presenting it as truth or believing it, but for the people who do believe that is truth and people who believe the Bible is truth, there is a way to coexist in peace. And that is the point of why I'm doing this. If you're interested, follow along, because I'm going to start breaking it down section by section to tell you what I've learned and how it was different from what the media and other people who benefit from us being divided told me my whole life. So join me. Let's learn together and learn a way to live in peace together and go love your neighbor.
Look what Mamdani is doing in New York, for instance. He's, what is it? Is he, what's his religion? He's a Muslim. I had to look it up. The other thing as well, I used to say that I believe, all right, when you look at a tree, I have that tree, I saved it. Every religion is a branch of God, okay? At the end of the day, it's what holds the stem of the tree together. That's the way I present it. It sounds crazy, but because every religion teaches love and respect, understanding, and there's some crazy stuff in some of them, okay? I've heard, because I don't never sit down and read the entire Bible, but there's some crazy stuff in there that, you may not agree with. That's kind of harsh, but at the end of the day, when you sums up everything, the Bible, whatever, Quran, and whatever other form of religious book that there is out there, it's pretty much teaching people to love, respect, and coexist. Also, this is why our forefathers used to say to separate church and state, because of this nonsense that these people bring when it comes to religion. All right, so let's go to the next tweet. I have one more and then I'm done. Oh my God, I'm already close to 30 minutes. All right, next tweet. A journalist from the ABC network was fired from her job for publishing a report confirming Israel's use of starvation as a weapon in Gaza. It's well known. At this point right now, everybody's letting themselves who they are. You either go along with the barbaric way, or you stand still, you stand tall and tell the truth. Eventually, things will be clear out, because right now, what Israel is doing, okay, they feel like anybody who speak against their evilness, they should not exist, pretty much. Starve you from your livelihood and things like that. They even said it. You go against Israel, they're gonna find you. They use Google or whatnot to search your background so you could get you fired. Like this young lady at Burger King. This guy went and asked her, "What did you say? What did you say?" I think that young lady at the Burger King said, "Free Palestine." And then next thing I heard, I didn't follow it, but I heard she lost her job with Burger King. I don't buy Burger King, so her losing her job, my money was never going to Burger King anyway. But if I was one of those people who buy things at Burger King, my feet will not step in Burger King ever again. Okay? So all of this can counterbalance. They keep on saying nonsense, you will lose your job. Don't show up and spend your money at the establishment. All right, let's continue. And in court, the judge ruled that her dismissal was illegal. Okay, in her victory speech, she said, quote, "Since 2023 until now, Israel has been using hunger as a weapon against civilians, and this is deliberate and intentional use of starving people. It's well documented, including killing charities that organization that's bringing food to the Palestinian. Okay, World Central Kitchen, I documented it because this is an organization that Harry and Meghan support. They go around the world, not just in the Middle East, around the world. I think at one point they went to Haiti as well. They went to California, okay, in the United States, the wildfire, and where there's flood, they went there, everywhere. All right, this is one of the organization Archwell support. And they killed one of their how many were in the car? At least 3, if not 4 of their official. And it's not like Israel didn't know. They literally contacted Israel to let them know where they were gonna be, but they bombed them anyway. And when it comes to those data centers and all of that, we need to be very careful, because I'm seeing videos of American allowing the government to put data center in their home to track people. Because what I think is going to happen with your cell phone, because I think some of these technology have already been tested in Israel. All right. When, for instance, how they kill some journalists in the Middle East. Once a journalist use their cell phone, they know they're due to satellite where they located at, they will freaking blow a building. They don't care who's in there. But as long as they get that one target, that's what freaking lunatic these people are. All right, so let's listen to her and then I move on. Oh, so when it comes to the data center in the United States and things like that, I think it's a technology that's already been tested and used and worked well for Israel and the Middle East. They're coming over here when they want to track you down with your cell phone. They could do some damages. Okay, let's listen to this and then I move on.
In December 2023, I shared a Human Rights Watch post, because Human Rights Watch found that Israel was using starvation as a weapon of war in Gaza. It is now June 2025, and Palestinian children are still being starved. We see their images every day, emaciated, skeletal, scavenging through the rubble for scraps. This unspeakable suffering is not accidental, it is engineered.
Yeah.
Deliberately starving and killing children is a war crime. Today the court has found that punishing someone for sharing facts about these war crimes is also illegal. I was punished for my political opinion. I won't be taking any questions. I'll have more to say in due time. Thank you.
We have to give so much respect and continue praying for those people who have a position where their voices can be heard far and beyond, who stand, for what's right. We have to pray for them. Oh my God, it takes a lot of courage. Phew, the amount, YouTube, I could understand not sharing some images. It could be very disturbing. Target your mentality and stuff like that. But many of these social media, like YouTube, they knew. Because I'll never forget. I still have that screenshot. Leading up, I think, 2024, they sang. Because they knew what Israel was about to do. So YouTube warned us not to show images of children, death, and whatnot. Why would they put that so specific to not to show these things? That's because they were fully aware what was going to happen. All right, so this is my last one. Okay, every student nailed their assignment. That is so cute. After all those negative things, this video is really cute. I mute the music. Because I know I'll be putting screenshots. So those kids supposed to pick one of those emojis, and then they have to do the face expression. They look so cute. He's fired on. That is cute. That is so cute. All right, that's all. All right, so I type prayer for freedom. Freedom Prayer is a Christian ministry. Okay, I just want the prayer. I don't want explanation. Let's do this one. Lord, help me to pray. Help me to turn to you so the day I want to become a better prayer, not so that I can get more of what I want. Instead, I desire to know your will. I also want to walk in the freedom that will come when I turn everything over to you. Jesus, amen. All right, so that is it. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. All right, so that's it. Thanks for watching.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
Find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.